Hello, this is Tony Gorton. We're in week 3 of EDU 662. This is my presentation on standardized assessments. The standardized test I've chosen to analyze is the National German Exam. This is a standardized test my district has chosen as the EOST, which stands for End of Course Exam for German levels 1 through 3. We German teachers in the district asked if we could use this test, and they said we could. It costs $6 per student, which our district pays for. In our opinion, there is no better standardized test out there for German, or do we feel we could create a better one ourselves? We like that it is not created by us, therefore we have no idea what our students will be tested on specifically. Yes, we know the format and the main themes for each level, but other than that, it's really a surprise to us each year what is on the test. This forces us not to teach to the test, but rather teach good test-taking strategies to help our students be successful. This test only uses authentic language material, which matches our ACTFL standards for world language. No one textbook, method, or approach is given preference when designing the exams. The exams do reflect the principles of the World Readiness Standards for Learning Language, and their focus on developing competence to communicate effectively and interact with culture, competence to participate in multilingual communities. Here is my flow chart for the National German Exam. So it's created by AATG, which stands for the American Association of Teachers of German. It is an electronic format, so students take it on the computer. It's comprised of 100 SR questions, also all multiple choice. The two sections are listening and viewing and reading, so those are each 50 questions. For the listening and viewing, students need headphones because they are watching and listening to video clips. So it's taken on the computer, and it is also computer scored. It is standards based, so it aligns to the ACTFL standards, and it also measures the ACTFL proficiency guidelines. This is an achievement test, and it awards top students, so they give out medals, gold, silver, and bronze. They also give out achievement awards and certificates, and then top students can be selected to possibly win a trip to study in Germany. And for that, they have to go through an interviewing process. So there's people in each state that are selected to do the interviewing process, and the students go through a very rigorous progress, but possibly could get a paid for trip to study in Germany in the summer. All right, so like I said, the test is taken completely on the computer. It's broken up into two sections. Here's an example of what the listening and viewing section of the exam looks like. So this is an example from level 2, which is what I teach. So the students, this is what it looks like for them. They click here, and it opens up the video or whatever it is in a separate screen, and then they can watch that video segment. They can pause it, play it again as many times as they need, as long as it's within the 40 minutes they have. So the listening and viewing portion is 40 minutes in length, where they see a bunch of different short video or audio segments with a total of 50 questions or tasks. Here is an example. So like I mentioned, everything, all the material on this exam is authentic and is meant for native German speakers. That means it has not been modified, slowed down, altered in any way. Everything that is used is things that were created for native German speakers. So here's just an example of a video that the level 2 students would have to watch and then answer multiple choice questions about.
Das Deutschlandwetter auf YouTube wird Ihnen präsentiert von Schuh Plus, Schuhe in Übergrößen. Ab heute heißt es wieder Pullover und Regenjacken zurück in den Schrank. Die Sonne ist wieder da und damit herzlich willkommen zum YouTube Deutschlandwetter. Im Süden und im mittleren Teil Deutschlands ist endlich die Sonne wieder da. Der Wind wird dort nur noch schwach und auch vom Regen ist diese Region komplett befreit. Nur im Norden Deutschlands und im Bergland kann es bei mäßigem Wind vereinzelt noch zu Schauern kommen.
All right, so as you can tell, he's speaking very quickly because he is speaking for a native German audience. There are no subtitles, nothing has been altered for this video. So as you can tell, for level 2 students having only, 2 years of language experience, this is a pretty difficult video for them to understand. So this exam does provide very challenging material for them, which aligns perfectly with our ACTFL standards, which says when we're assessing students, we should be using authentic materials. So here's an example of the reading section of the exam looks like, once again for level 2. So on the reading section, they have, once again, 50 questions, but for this portion, they have 45 minutes. So there's a different number of print text, including graphs and images, and then the students answer questions about them. So they click here to view it. It pops up in another window, which they can have open next to the questions, so they can read it and go through and answer the multiple choice questions. So here's just 2 quick examples of what each section looks like for students. All right, target proficiencies. So the level 1 exam measures student proficiencies in the novice range as measured by the ACTFL proficiency guidelines. These students understand some ideas on familiar topics containing phrases, simple sentences, and frequently used expressions. They can understand the main point on a few details in short conversations, messages, and announcements. So here's the novice range from low to high for listening and viewing. And then here are for reading what the novice range looks like. The level 2 exam measures students' proficiencies in the novice high to intermediate low proficiency range. These students understand the main ideas and some details on familiar topics expressed in sentences, short conversations, presentations, and messages. So here are the ACTFL proficiency guidelines for listening and viewing, and then for reading for the level 2. The level 3 exam measures student proficiencies in the intermediate low proficiency range. These students understand the main ideas and main details on familiar topics expressed in a series of connected sentences, conversation, presentations, and messages. They comprehend information related to basic personal and social needs and relevant to their immediate environment, such as everyday life, school, and the community. So there are 4 levels of this exam. However, in my school district, students are only offered German 1, 2, and 3. So we specifically only work with these 3 levels, which is why I didn't touch on level 4. So overall, this is an achievement test. No reasoning skills are tested. It only tests what students know and how they can apply what they know to help them when they get to things that they don't know or haven't learned yet. Scores. So there are no scheme. They just give raw scores. It's objective scoring. So there's only one correct answer per question, and they are all selected response questions. The National German Exam results provide a means of comparing students in all regions of the country. The results also serve as a diagnostic tool to inform curricular decisions. Teachers receive printable results reports, detailed skills reports, along with printable individual student reports. This is an example of the individual student report. The results report includes student raw scores as well as their percentile ranking, which indicate the performance of an individual student in comparison to all students who took the National German Exam across the United States. The achievement level for each student's performance and whether or not they qualify for the study trip award are also included. So here is an example of one student's report. So it gives you their total score. Their total score is made up of 2 raw scores, their reading score and their listening and viewing score. And that's out of 100 points. And then it tells them their percentile. So that's out of all the students in the nation that took it. So the standard group means students that answered the question that German is not regularly spoken at home. So something that we like about this exam is that there are students in the country that are taking German in high school, but they do speak German at home. So this test kind of separates them because it's not really fair to lump them into that group with students that do speak it at home. So the standard group means students that are only learning German in the classroom and German isn't regularly spoken at home. So then the skills report tells how students performed on specific types of questions, such as identifying main ideas, comprehending idiomatic expressions, making inferences. And this report is provided to help us teachers better understand where our students did well and where they might need more instruction. Here's another student results that teachers get. It tells us what awards our students got. So like I said, there's the gold, silver, and bronze medals, achievement awards, where they are nationwide, the chapter ranking, that's for Idaho, because I teach in Idaho, so it tells them where they rank in their state, which is great. So they really get to see good information here. Where do they rank in their state? Where do they rank nationally? All right, so what do scores say to me? So when I get my scores back, this is a good time for me to reflect as a teacher. What did I teach well? What could I have taught better? Or what could I better prepared them for? Strengths and drawbacks to the National German exam. So some strengths are it aligns with our ACTFL standards very nicely. It only uses authentic material. It's used nationally across the United States. It shows students where they rank nationally and in their state. It's very challenging but doable. There are practice exams online for students to familiarize themselves with the format, the type of questions will be asked. It awards students with medals, certificates, and scholarships, and it's very, very easy to administer. Some drawbacks is that it's only SR questions. There could be bad questions or questions that are confusing to students. You can't understand the thinking process students went through to choose their answer. Sometimes I'd like to know why my students chose the answer they did. It's expensive, so $6 per student is very costly. Not all school districts will pay for that. You need computers and headphones, so you'll have to sign out a computer lab or make sure you have that available for students. And it does take over 125 minutes to administer. So if you're testing within a normal 90-minute exam period, that's not going to be enough time. So my reflection, all in all, the National German Exam is, in my opinion, the best standardized test for German that's available out there. It's been around for 56 years and is created by the American Association of German Teachers rather than for some for-profit company. It has no other motive than providing a comprehensive, unbiased exam that aligns to the ACTFL standards. You know, of course, this is not the only way I assess students, but this is how we assess our students for listening and viewing and reading. And then we use this test in combination with performance assessments for speaking and writing. All right, thank you very much for listening to my presentation. If you have any questions, you can send me an email. And I thank you for your time today.